So once again, we are here at the Marriott Courtyard in Nashua, waiting for the Nashua GOP City Committee to start their annual Steakout dinner with special speaker Tom Homan, former director of ICE, and I've run across one of my new friends, New Hampshire State Representative Hershal Nunez, but I can't, Pelham, of course, that's right, Skip, read the sign.
Pelham, New Hampshire.
You know,
right.
it's like
District
the, like that.
37 Hillsborough. We're the largest non-warded district in the state.
Yeah, it's like that comedian says, here's your sign. I just got handed mine. So this is a little bit of a ways for you to come for an event like this.
It's not very far, really. It's about a 20-minute drive, but last year I came to the Nashua Steakout, met a lot of really nice people, a lot of people that came over and supported me in my candidacy. I won. Nashua is the largest city closest to the town where I represent, Pelham, New Hampshire. And it benefits us to come to these events. It benefits us to get the right people elected in Nashua, because all in all, what happens in Nashua usually bleeds over to the smaller towns around it. So I'm very interested in national politics.
Okay, well, good, because the state is a big place, lots of candidates, but we have to zero in on the good ones. Nobody knows that better than we do at Granite Rock, because we also zero in on the really bad ones too. But let me switch gears. Sure. Immigration. Quick question from a reader who said that, you're going there, you need to ask people. The wall, build it? Should we be building the wall?
I think that in some places, a wall would do some good. But if you're talking about an expanse of a wall that runs from El Paso to San Diego, the dollar figure that they're talking about will never cover that. But there are places that we know of that are hot spots, and we have sent so many of our ICE and Border Patrol enforcement officers down to those areas, and we're running out of people to process. I think it's 60% of the officers that are down there are now working in the processing centers, not working in the field trying to stop people from coming in illegally. So it's something that has to be addressed by our Congress, and it's something that we're talking to the candidates in our state about. I think it's very important.
The topic of the day, like it or not, out of Washington, and of course Trump is always coming up with new things, is anchor babies. I look at Mike Rogers, who came here legally, who has worked here legally and was getting ready to become a citizen until situations changed with our presidency a while ago. But I look at people like that and go, if you allow non-citizens, illegal aliens to cross the border, what are you telling the people who have spent much time, treasure, and trying to do the right thing? What's the message that's sent when you allow folks like that? And with the anchor babies, where he's looking to really look at the jurisdiction thereof clause, the 14th. I think most Americans, and I'm going to ask what your opinion is on this, and I'm guilty once again of a long lead up.
That's okay.
I think most citizens, when they hear that Trump is looking at the military babies born of U.S. servicemen outside the country, and that he's going to look at that, people are going to say, no, military, those babies are citizens.
Those babies are citizens.
Anchor babies, not so much.
Now, I think that there's a couple of things we can talk about here. We can talk about our servicemen expanding their families overseas, but I believe that what the State Department has been talking about federally is that adoptions they'll have to go through the same type of citizenship rights as anyone else. Federal laws are federal laws, and there are federal laws that are out there right now that a lot of people don't agree with. There's laws that people do agree with. I think that our United States Congress has to get together and talk about those issues and try to come up with a good plan. The president has a plan, but the president has a lot of plans.
Yes, he does.
And those plans sometimes come to fruition and sometimes they don't. He may make a statement on Twitter or to a newspaper reporter that is a thought out of his head, and all of a sudden it's a federal plan or a federal agenda. We all know that that's not the way it works unless an executive order is issued. And then it has to be a constitutional executive order, because the United States Supreme Court could also go against a decision. So expanding your family while you're in the service, if you're living in another country, is one thing. If you're adopting a child from overseas, that child would have to go through citizenship rights anyway. So I don't know what the big deal is. It's a soundbite, I think, for the Democrats.
Well, you have certainly put a different spin on it than what I had heard before, and I'm glad that I asked the question, not to put you on the hot spot, but I'm glad you were able to clarify this for the readers of Granite Rock.
There's a citizenship path for adopted children anyway. Anybody who lives in the United States that wants to adopt a child outside of the United States has to go through a citizenship path for that child once they get here. They don't automatically become a citizen just because they're adopted. They become a child of citizens, and they have to go through a citizenship path in order. I know this because I have a family member who adopted from out of the country. We see these big sound bites coming out where people are slamming the Republican Party, or they're slamming the president, or whoever it is that they want to slam. They're going to slam whoever they want to. I think that we have to be very careful as to what sound bite we take a hold of, and make sure we do our research on it.
Well, very good. Representative Hershal Nunez, I promised just a few minutes with Granite Rock. We've gone on a little bit more, but I'm glad that we did. Thank you for spending your time with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.